Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and this is the day 4 of the integration training. In this training or in this sessions, we'll talk about that direct web services integrations using the SOAP message. And lastly, we talk about that using the table API, how we can get the data from the ServiceNow using the REST message, or we talk about that using the REST API Explorer, how we can generate the URL dynamically and send our customer to get the data from the ServiceNow. So today we'll talk about basically, that direct web services integration. So if I go back to the documentation in this inbound integration, we talk about or we cover about that table API web services, and now today we'll talk about that direct web services using the SOAP message. So again, for this one, you don't need to build anything or you don't need to develop anything into the service now. But as your customer, if they are asking something like, let's say they are trying to create a record to the service now, or they are trying to retrieve a record from the service now, how you can give them this all these details, we'll discuss this further today. So without wasting time, let's get started. For the direct web services access, if I go back to that my documentation called direct web services access, in this direct web services access, if you see this documentation, it's saying that a direct web service is available for any table in system if the correct access control is configured. So let's say I want to retrieve incident from the incident table, or I want to retrieve data from the change request table, so that I should have the user or the service account, they should have access to view that incident, or they should have proper access to do the card operation like create, update, delete. Whatever access they will have, let's say they have only read access, they will only able to read the data, or if they have access to that create the data, they will be able to create the data. Even if they have access to delete the record, they will be able to delete the data using that SOAP message. So we'll show you that. So very first thing is that that's the if you see that here more about, for SOAP API required service account, a service account must have the SOAP role. So basically, whatever the service account you are giving to the customer, the service account must have SOAP role. Then only that integration will be possible. Otherwise, it won't be possible. The next thing is that the supported format for incoming message is document style literal XML. So basically, SOAP integration is based on the XML. So we have to deal with the XML for SOAP message. And this is the example URL using that we can deal with our, ServiceNow instance. So very first thing, as I mentioned, that the user that must have the SOAP role. So if I go back to the ServiceNow instance, this is my ServiceNow instance, and go back to the CC user table. Under the CC user table, during our last sessions, we created one user called integration admin. In this integration admin, we added that web services admin role. Now for SOAP integrations, we have to add them the SOAP role so that they can do a operation using the SOAP message. So for the SOAP message, you have these are the child role like SOAP create, delete, ECC query, update, script. These are the role you have. But if you give them the direct SOAP role, this is the parent role of all this child role. Okay, so if you give them the SOAP role, automatically they will inherit those roles. So I'll simply add this SOAP role, and because I want to show the demo on creation, updation, deletion, all this method, so I'll just add the SOAP role and simply save that. Once I added that, you can see that user have couple of new role added like SOAP created, SOAP query, SOAP script, SOAP update. These are the role they automatically inherited from that because this SOAP is the parent role. So that's it for here that user access part. Now you have to open the SOAP UI for testing that whatever endpoint or whatever access you are giving, that is the correct. So let's open the SOAP UI and see that how it looks like the SOAP UI, because using the earlier video we talked about the using the Postman, how we can test those links that it's working fine or not. We actually tested and then we provided that link to our customer, right? Similarly, we can test that same scenario in the using the SOAP UI for the SOAP message. Definitely you can go for the Postman, but it is a better visibility in the SOAP UI. So I'll open the SOAP UI. In our last documentation, we talked about that we are going to use some of the third-party application to test our scenario, right? So we'll open that SOAP UI and we'll show you that. So this is the SOAP UI, how it looks like that initially whenever you open that. And this is the SOAP UI looks like. Now in the SOAP UI, when you open the first time, so this is asking for the REST URL, but we don't, I mean, using the SOAP UI, you can test that REST and SOAP, but initially we used REST for the Postmas, and we use that SOAP UI for the SOAP message testing. So I'll just close this browser and then definitely go for this one. And then here they are saying that this is the endpoint that we have to use for do that direct table API, direct table web services. For that, I have to use this endpoint. So I'll copy this endpoint from here and go back to the SOAP UI. In the SOAP UI, you have a option called SOAP. You just click that SOAP. Once you click the SOAP, the project name it is asking. You don't need to put anything in the project name. You just put that initial W, ESDL. Here you need to put that endpoint. Now, once you put the endpoint, I just replace this instance name with my ServiceNow instance name. So my ServiceNow instance name is this one. I'll copy this ServiceNow instance name and paste here. Once I put that, you can see by default the project name is coming called incident. From where it is coming? From that this one incident.do, from there it is coming. If you want to change this name, you can go for that. Otherwise, you just simply click the OK. Once you click the OK, it will ask for the username password. The username password is nothing but the username password for that our service account. So let's go back to that service now, and this is our user ID for that. So I'll just open here and put that, and then password I'll put that. So here I just paste the password and simply click OK. Once I click OK, it will be loaded some of the WSDL, or maybe it will directly download from that ServiceNow instance. And you can see these are the method using that. These are the method they can do some operation. Okay. So if I go back here and open that previous documentation that called table API web services REST. This one, if you see here, we have a various method called retrieve a record from a table, create a record, retrieve a record, modify a record, delete a record, update a record. These are the method. Similarly, in the SOAP UI, you can see these are the method called delete multiple, delete record, get key, get record, insert, update. These are the method. Using that, we can do some operation, like we can update the record. We can using the this method, update method. Using the insert method, we can insert the record, get records. We can get some data, like we can get retrieve from the record and get a key. Using that, we can get some sysID. Using this method, get method, we can get only one specific record, delete record, only one record deleted, delete multiple, will delete multiple record. So very first thing is that we are going to insert a record to the incident table. So I'll click this insert operation. Once you open this insert operation, you can see in this bottom, you have various options. And here you will be able to find out that I'll just open this one. So under this insert method, you have a request one which is by default created. You just need to open that, and once you open that, you will be able to see all these incident fields are available here in a XML format. So you can see these are the incident fields we have available into the ServiceNow right now, and here we need to update or we need to pass some value to create the record. Also in the bottom we have a request property. Inside the request property we need to put again the credential called username and password, because the previous username password that we have put there, that is for only downloading this method, by default automatically downloading the method, but this username and password is used to actually do a operation on this request method. So I'll quickly paste that username and password. Now, once username password is added here, we need to put that certain value, that whatever value we want to put. So let's say we want to put the short description. So let's find out that short description field. So you can see this is the short description field. By default, it's have a question mark. It's paste from SOAP UI. So this will be our one of this message that we are trying to put that. Now again, similarly, we'll put the caller ID. So the way we have done here, in this caller ID, we'll put the name and see how it's work. In the caller, what will be put that? We'll put this username, so integration admin. So I'll copy that name here. And once we put all this information, let's say you put all these informations like closed by, closed node, all this, whatever, CMDB, whatever you have put, and click the send. Once you click the send, you can see you get a response, and which is something like that. You click that raw, or you can click that soap, you will get one message or the response that you have received. What it is saying that insert about operation against that incident was about by business rule called about changes on the group. So something it's the business rule that is about to creating my record to this incident table. So let's see what the business rule is saying. So I will open this business rule quickly in my ServiceNow instance and see what they are saying. I'll open this business rule. And search with this name, and it is on the incident table. And this will run during insert and update. You can see that this business rule is updating, creating during insert and update. And it's have some a script. So I'll just turn off this line and save that for the timing, and for the demonstration purpose I just turned off that, and click again to sending the data. Once I send that data and click the XML, I can see there is a one incident is getting created. I'll open that and search that incident. So now one thing you notice that some of the fields it's coming as a question mark. You can see these are the fields are coming as a question mark, right? Because in the SOAP UI, these are the pre-populated fields that are in a question mark. So what you have to do basically, you just have to remove this question mark if you don't want to pass any value. So let's say right now you can see that in this, that's the reason the business rule was giving my error that assignment group assigned to these are coming as a question mark, and because of that it's have some invalid value. That's the reason the business rule was restricting me. I'll do one thing. I'll simply remove as much as possible. So let's say I will remove that assignment group and assign to. So here, if I see assignment group, I'll remove, and then assign to, I'll remove. So if I run that, there are other fields need to be probably remove that. If I run that, this value, let's say category also and channel, these two I'll also remove that. So I will come down and category, this one I'll remove, and channel ID. So let's say I'll remove the category. So if I run that, now this value doesn't have any value, and this field doesn't have any value. Now let's do one more thing, that I will turn on that business rule that we have deactivated for that for the timing. So I'll go back and then update that this business rule to true, whatever I have created. So I'll just make that turn on true, and then I'll go back to this SOAP message and hit again to create a incident. So let's click that. It is created a new incident. Just click the XML and you will be received a new incident. I'll copy and search that. Once we search that, you can see all this data or all this record that is created, and this caller ID or category, this is not coming a question mark anymore, right? Because we remove that that question mark. So this way you can create a record. We already we just discussed that how we can create a record. Similarly, let's say I want to update a record, right? So I go back here and then click here. So this is the update method, and in this update method you can see any of this field you can update it. So let's say in previously this incident was created and this is the sys ID, right? And this is the newly value that we have received. So we'll search that sysid here. This is the sysid. I'll paste that sysid field, and here I will put that value. So let's say right now this incident, the 10 have that description is question mark. I'll update the description call. I'll search the description, and I'll put that description call new description. Again, you can see others fields have a question mark, so it probably will update that. So I'll remove that caller ID, I'll remove that assignment group and assign to these two fields. So I'll remove that. So these will be done by third party. So you just need to give them that this endpoint to them so that they can work on that. And then I'll update that short description even. So I'll find out the short description, and I'll just remove that and click send. Now once you send that, we'll get an error. So you can see that if I click the XML, we are getting that error call user does not authenticate, because for this method we need to be put this username and password again in this bottom. So I'll just click here and put the username and password. As I mentioned that each method or operation have a one request, and each request have to be put username and password. I'll copy and paste that username and password. Now username and password is copied here, and now if we click send, it should right now give me a response. So if I click XML, you can see it is updated. Now let's go back to that incident, and you can see this value getting update. This value got updated, but short description and these are not updated, but other fields are updated because there are the question mark sign. Because of that value got updated. So make sure whenever the third party is sending, they are not passing any junk value, because whenever we test using the SOAP message, it creates some junk value. So make sure whenever you're passing them or whenever you are giving them, they should not pass any junk value. So the way we have done for insert or update, similarly we have a get records. In this get records, we can retrieve the records. So if I click this method, this is the retrieving method where we can retrieve that by putting some of the fields value. We can get the records, and similarly we have an option called get method. Using the get method, we can pass that sysid and the view name. By passing that, we can get details. So let's go back to this incident. I'll copy this sysid and paste to this one, and you need to pass that view name if you want. So let's say I'll put the default, and this is the optional field. You can see this is the mandatory field and this is the optional field. So once you put the default and hit enter, I'll get an error because I have to be put that username and password here. So this is the password value, and now if we click send, it will give me an answer with this all value. You can see that we are getting that class is incident. This is a short description called test from SOAP UI, and then there will be some description somewhere. Let's see. So this is the description, new description, something like that. All this value we will be able to retrieve from our table. Similarly, we have a delete multiple record and delete record. So if I click the delete record only need one sysid. Once you pass that, it will be delete that. Similarly, delete multiples is used to put some filter. Let's say I want to put that category equal to all, category equal to something. So all this incident that is created by that category will be deleted. So basically this way we can create, delete, update, get the data. So that's a very simple method. As I saw that how we can get the data from that ServiceNow, how we can insert the data, how we can delete the data. So these are the method. It's available for SOAP message. And the next topic we'll talk about in our next day. We'll talk about definitely. Let's see what topic we have in next day for the next day. We'll talk about that import set web services. That is also a SOAP. And after import set web services, we'll talk about that import set API. These are the topics we'll cover one by one. And if you have any question, let me know in my comment sections. Thank you very much. Have a great day.